Acknowledge me. What's good, guys? Your boy Good Savage back again for another review of another documentary, another A&E documentary, another brilliant WWE documentary. And I'll tell you, man, as an amateur filmmaker and a film and photography and cinematic enthusiast and part of my career, I'm really impressed by these documentaries, man. I'd love to work with WWE someday. Not work with, I'll work a part of one of these documentaries. I just think they're so cool. Even if I could just shadow the way they've done it, man, I really appreciate it and the ideas that go into it and stuff like that. But Roman Reigns, man, A&E documentary. You already know that's my guy. That's in terms of favorite wrestlers, modern day Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? So the deep connection I have with the Samoan bloodline, like for real, it's high, man. It's deep. I've yeah, I mean Yokozuna days and that's where I'm going. Although in the beginning I hated Yokozuna because he used to kill he used to kill Bret Hart so much. But yeah, man, I have to say before this was advertised to come out, which I caught the advertisement late, I was quite shocked that they was dropping an A&E documentary on Roman. Not because he's not worthy of it, but of all the people I've seen so far, and I've watched all of them, it's been like I think this series so far has been Randy Orton, Sergeant Slaughter, Razor Ramon, well Scott Hall, and Diamond Dallas Page. So when you're looking at that, Randy's the youngest one on there, but Randy's closer to retirement and has been around a long time. He's had a full career. But then again, I think about Roman, he's been around since like 2012, 13. So he's a long career as well, but just didn't expect it. Not complaining though. Great documentary. Great insight to the man, Joe Anoa'i himself, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, my tribal chief, your tribal chief, the head of the table. A lot of things. Listen, Roman keeps his private life to himself, and I think even in his documentary, still kept certain things to himself, which I do appreciate. Um, but you know, it's hard. It's harder for me to explain what I'm about to explain because I already appreciate everything Roman does. I already respect him to the highest level. Whereas I think if you've got a lack of respect for Roman or you're one of these, I'm not even joking with the Cody Crybaby thing, but if you're one of these people that moan about everything Roman does and Roman always wants time off and stuff like that, when you watch this kind of documentary, you get to see why he does what he does and how much work he's put in and how much things he's put on the line, including his life, being in the business, um, navigating his family and his obviously his wife and stuff. And of course, every wrestler has to go through that, but not every wrestler has the sickness, the leukemia, the cancer of the blood that Roman had, and the ups and downs when you get to see him trying to make his dream in the NFL. Obviously, he got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings. Funny because it's the same team that Brock got drafted to, and he speaks about going to touch the field and two of the people from the office block him off and say, "Oh, we need to speak to you," and then they tell him about the cancer of his blood. Can you imagine that making it to your dream, finally getting the chance, and then that's what happened, and then he can't do it anymore, and from there having to go and work with his sister, um, growing up with the Usos, and speaks about when he first meets the Usos. The big takeaways from this is family. Like seriously, the bloodline to Roman's not a joke. Like everything on screen, the reason why it was so amazing because it's all true. It's all true. He really takes the mantle of taking my family to the next level and providing for them. He really is the head of the table. There's a part in this documentary where Jimmy breaks down crying just off of how much Roman's helped him, of how much he's done for the family. You see the bond between Roman and Rosie. Obviously, Rosie, Matt Anoa'i, Roman's brother, who sadly passed away. I think it was like 2 years ago now. Maybe a bit longer, but yeah, forgive me for that. I don't know the time scale. It's not that long ago because I remember it. Um, the love that he has for his mom and the support his sisters have for him and stuff like that, and all he goes for, man. He really is the top guy. He even talks about wanting to do more because obviously he's half Samoan, like The Rock's half Samoan too. But he said that when you're not full Samoan, there's something that feels missing, and something that doesn't feel whole. So he does a bit more. There's cameos in this from Sami Zayn, Paul Heyman. The relationship between them two, by the way, that's real love. That is, and obviously we know now that he's going to be inducting Paul into the Hall of Fame. and the family ties are so deep that I don't think there is a better person, but I think he's great. You could have went with Brock Lesnar, you could have went with Tommy Dreamer or anybody like that too. The highs and lows of the company trying to force him to do certain things, and his brother sent him a message saying like sometimes in his to get. He said the reason why his career had a ceiling on it, his brother, is because he was too much of a nice guy, and sometimes you need to be a bit of a bastard in the company. And Roman took that mantle, and that's why you see him do the serious things he does, and that's why he speaks for himself now. He's not scripted. He runs a tight ship. He's overseen the company going into $1 billion deals while he's been at the helm of the company. Is why he gets the time off he does, and why he gets to do these things. Not to mention all the sickness he went through in the first place, and you can't do nothing but respect it as somebody who's always motivated and inspired to try and do the best. Things that sit with me that I already think of, and he mentioned, I'm like, yeah, man, this is I resonate with it. There's a part where he says, if I'm not the top, if I'm not number one, I don't want to be here. I hear him on it still. I hear him on it, and he's number one. There's cameos from Logan in this. I love that because Logan speaks very candidly and honest about Roman. The biggest surprise for me was there was Brock Lesnar in this, not because of what's gone on, but the fact that Brock Lesnar doesn't talk on anybody. He doesn't. I don't think there's any documentary Brock in it unless it's from back in the day. So to have him in there, crazy. I love it, man. But yeah, guys, if you haven't watched it, please check it out. It's on YouTube, so go and find it. Just put it in. Hopefully, it hasn't been taken down because they're taking down the Bray Wyatt one already. But yeah, man, let me know what you think, man. Head of the table setting tonight onto WrestleMania, where he will beat the brakes off Cody Rhodes. I've been your boy, Savage. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section.